Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the Delta Green tabletop role-playing game rules by Arc Dream Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Listeners should know that this podcast will include mature themes and scenes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, military organizations, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living, dead, or redacted, is completely coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your handler. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways Podcast. I am your handler this evening, Michael Diamond. We are back with our agents of OCEL as they investigate a dead letter. And so at the top of the show, as we'd like to thank you, the listener, and especially you, the Patreon supporter. If you've not had a chance to check out what we offer, you can on patreon.com/the Old Ways Podcast. Join us on other social media imprints like YouTube and Twitch for some additional fun. And so we'll get right into it with introductions. To my right.
Hey, I'm Miranda, and I'm playing Dr. Aaron Weber, sometimes that kind of doctor, usually a doctor of chemistry, but right now I'm just happy that we were all able to de-escalate, both escalate and de-escalate that situation, and we came to a good, I think, resolution.
Sure. It's Dr. Weber's right.
Hi, this is Nate, and I play Elliot Winters. I don't think either of these uniforms that I've stolen from Lynn Crystal Stone will fit me, but I'm willing to give it a go.
Yes, a very poignant use of your time last episode in pilfering said uniforms and a piece of identification at the end of the table.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I play Special Agent Joanne Hart, and things got a little heated and very cool after the end of that.
And last, but most certainly not least.
Hi, my name is Tegan Gilbert, and I'm playing Brett Young Buck Hawking, and I made someone use dish soap at gunpoint yesterday.
Yeah, let's just mark it off the list of your achievements, Agent. So, after leaving the trailer, getting back in the rental car, driving back, making some considerations as far as what you do, how late the post office might be open, there was dinner at a local place, and after that you would have retired to the house perhaps to sort things out, unless the agents have other plans.
No, I think that's kind of where we were headed after every successful mission. Successful infiltration of a trailer. We need to, I think, calm down and talk things through and put all of our clues out on the table for all of us to see and decide what the fuck we're doing in Montana.
Great idea. So you're joined in the house, Dr. Weber, by Bojangles, who's happy to see you have arrived back.
I told Bojangles everything that happened while we were gone. The whole thing. The soap, the driving away, the driving back, all of it.
He listens.
Yeah. He's a good listener.
The best. Okay, so the idea would be to sort out some stuff for what you have and where you want to go next. So.
Yep. So leads we have right now, right? We have maybe an ability to get an amalgamated biocarb, possibly. This Crisp guy is still out there. Maybe, no, he knows we're here, but I felt like I feel like he might be on our team. And 3 missing guys. We checked up on all 3 of them, or at least 2, right? All 3?
You checked 2 for sure.
2 for sure. Yeah, I think we did too. We checked up on them, kind of. They're gone. They're missing. Wherever amalgamated biocarb hid their bodies, who knows if we can find them. It could be in a vat somewhere. Really, the questions that it seems like we have left to answer are, what is Crisp's connection to the newspaper? What is Crisp's connection to Iron Shirt? Iron Shirt's a real person. We thought that was a pseudonym for Crisp, and it's not. They're 2 different people. Are they working together? How did they both kind of get wrapped up in this and connected back to the newspaper and Linway? in two different ways. That's still unclear. Thoughts on next actions?
Do like the people who smoke cigarettes in the dark expect us to go like raid a facility? Like that's what like I'm saying out loud. It's like, are we supposed to stop them from making experiments on dog heads or just keep it quiet?
I don't think we're supposed to stop the dog head. Look, I mean, I've worked for the government a fair number of times. Me, Dr. Aaron Weber. And this got government. I mean, this has got what military stink on it, right?
So is it you thinking like just a single lab you gotta like burn down in one building?
I don't know. Do we just have to contain? I don't remember what they told us to do.
You mean the postal inspector?
Yeah, they just like to tell us to just fucking figure stuff out all the time. That's kind of their thing.
It was smaller when they brought us in. It was just crazy dog head.
The heads got bigger?
Yeah, it was a crazy dog head sent from someplace in Montana. Yeah, all this ABC publicly traded giant research company is new.
I'm looking at Winters and I'm like, at what point do we like report back? What point do we feel like we got in over our heads?
A few years ago.
Oh, I think when we opened this box and a disembodied dog head started biting at us was when I felt like I was in over my head. It's just nonstop.
Yeah, I think when we rolled up to McAllister Building, that's about when I felt like we were in over our head.
It's like, hey, Hart, we go in there, right? And there's like a 300-person facility and they're reanimating dogs. Like, do we walk back out? What scale can we handle?
I wouldn't say that all of the time we've handled things particularly well. I mean, we burned down a building.
Yeah, but it's like a residential building.
Because smaller arson makes it more legal.
It's not about legality. It's about like what we can do as 4 people. I mean, it's obvious. We have to go in there and we have to find out what's going on in there. I'm just putting the question on the table of like, at what point do we slowly back out and like either come up with a bigger plan or see if we're not the only, asset available to handle something. Like, is there a line by which like it's too big for the 4 of us? That's the only question.
I think whoever we work for just loves doing this bullshit. I think the building was the last 2 things we've done were probably too big for us. Like, we got by, but not ideal. I don't think it's the kind of group that you can just call in the cavalry on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is a cavalry. I mean, there ain't. Now, first, I think we've done all right. Yes, every single thing has been bigger, but I think we have done all right with what we've done with those much bigger things. 2, or B, I don't remember how I started this. If this was an entire facility reanimating dead things, I don't think it would be quiet. I feel like this is a compartmentalized operation of some kind. I also am questioning why Crisp is on the mailing list of a pro, if you want to go that far, a pro-eco-terrorism magazine, or maybe just an environmentally conscious magazine. He might have been the first person that they opened the door to that they shouldn't have. Maybe he's the 3rd person they opened the door to they shouldn't have, and we just got to take care of the first 2. I'm with you, Brett. We don't have equipment, resources, team size, anything to take out an industrial complex, but maybe that's not what we're talking about. Maybe we're talking about that very typical evil villain in the basement, 2 or 3 people kind of situation. And you know what? We could do that. We've done that.
What uniforms do you got? Drag them out. What do they look like? What are they for?
I got 2 women named, 2 Lynn janitorial uniforms from ABC. It's something, but it's not the greatest disguise.
I want to kind of look at Hart and I go, We could do a lot of damage with janitorial supplies if we had to.
I mean, we could. I don't know if that's necessarily our best course of action.
Just as something on the table.
It has been so far, let's be honest.
Okay, just let's not go in there without a plan.
Well, okay, so it seems like we've come down to 2 courses of action, right? We're going to go in, infiltrate in some way, and we can do that regardless. And the other question, I mean, Iron Shirts, we can't find Iron Shirts, so we don't even know what that, like, we can't talk to him. We could find Crisp. We've been able to get addresses on everyone else, so we could find Crisp and do a little stakeout, follow him around, see who he talks to, see what's going on with him. We could do it at the same time. We got 2 uniforms. And Winters, I think you have a very nice slight frame. I think you'd look great in one of those.
Oh, sure, I could fit in it. That's no problem. You sure this Chris fella didn't say anything to you? He didn't give you any sort of indication when you talked to him?
No.
Just hung up.
But he may have also been scared. Because we're assuming they killed 3 people at least already. Maybe a dog. We don't know how the dog died.
Well, can we really assume that they've killed 3 people, though? The police haven't seen Iron Shirt for a while. The girlfriend hasn't seen Iron Shirt for a while. And the package was mailed after both of those parties last saw him. So there's no guarantee that they're disappeared. We don't know that for sure. I don't want to make that assumption.
They are disappeared. We don't know if they're dead. They could be disappeared on their own accord.
Yeah.
They could be hiding out, laying low.
Yeah, and especially since as a group, that is something that Agent Winters and I found out when we went to the police station. They're a little group that likes to hang out, and if they think they're in too much trouble, it would make sense that they just kind of up and vanish for a little while. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, that's what we heard, Hart, that they go around steal stuff. So one possibility, they went and stole this. They did something with it. They got rid of it. They mailed it away, and then they disappeared themselves because they're freaking out. That's a possibility. They could have stole it, and ABC could have found out about it, and ABC could have disappeared them. That's a possibility. Them disappearing sure ain't out of character from what we've heard from their family and from police and friends and stuff like that. What if they stole this head from Crisp? And that's why Crisp is... And that's running the assumption on top of the assumption, then setting that assumption down the road, attached to another assumption with a bungee. But maybe that's the connection there, because it seems weird. Seems out of sorts that you all found that name on that mailing list. We show how that person works here, and then Iron Shirt done mailed that package
to that person.
To that, it's too coincidental, right? I don't like that. I don't like that coincidence.
Like, I only stopped by the post office briefly, and I know that earlier, like, I mentioned that we still haven't necessarily completely ruled out everything just from the post office. I went in very briefly to try to... Essentially, when we got here, I was working under the impression that the person who was delivering the package was Crisp and using a different name. So when I asked the person who was behind the counter, they weren't familiar to that name. He wasn't sure, and that's why it was recommended that we go to, the tribal police. But since it wasn't Crisp, and since the person that was behind the counter did at least seem on like a recognizing basis, like they know each other at least pretty well, then that must be someone that Iron Shirt knows, at least on a good enough basis that he's willing to show his face after whatever went down that essentially made him disappear from general public view over a month ago.
So that's a good point right there. So we've got this date when they all went missing, but then we do have Iron Shirt on camera in town, in this tiny little town, showing his face afterwards.
Yeah.
That's true, right? They were last seen in July, but this thing was sent after July.
Can I make a really weird suggestion?
Brett, you got that look on your face like you're about to make a really weird suggestion. I've seen it before. I saw it in that pit when we was in that room with all them bones and never mind, let's not talk about that no more.
Yeah, thanks. Cool. Let's double up on the PTSD. Let's not make the assumption that just because whatever they injected or did to this dog can bring a dog back doesn't mean that whatever they did, they couldn't do the same process to a human being. That just because somebody disappeared on the day and then mysteriously reappeared later, that everything's fine.
Wait. Play this out for me. What you thinking? You thinking they reanimated this Iron Shirt feller?
No, I'm not saying any of that. I don't want anyone to jump to conclusions. I just don't want to fall into a spike trap, you know? I don't want you to be like, well, this is impossible because somebody could die and then they could come back. You know, we just assume that they're out of the play because they're dead or they're missing. That's all I'm saying. But maybe I've watched too many spooky movies.
No, I agree with you absolutely, Brett. We can't operate in assumptions right now. We can only operate in what we know. We have a timeline of when the gentleman went missing. We have a lot of uncertainties. I don't think we can make assumptions. I think we got to fill in those uncertainties ourselves. Not ourselves in assumption, but ourselves in fact finding.
That's true. That's true.
There's somebody at the door.
Hello? Who's there?
I glance at Bojangles real quick and see if Bojangles has reacted in any certain way.
Yeah, the dog has looked up and is now looking at the door.
Not excitedly, not angrily.
Nah, I'm somewhat excited. He looks over at you, Dr. Weber.
Bojangles, you know who it is. Bojangles is there.
He jumps off the couch, which he was sitting in, which is sort of like a tidal wave experience when a Cane Corso gets off the couch because it's enormous. And it goes to the door and you hear...
From Bojangles or from the other side of the door?
No, from Bojangles.
But we're going to have to work on that bark there. Not very scary.
I glance at Brett and I make the gun in hand universal gesture. I don't remember if we have weapons, but I make the... Yeah.
Can I get my shotgun and then like go around the corner or to like a space where somebody won't be able to see me from the front door opening?
Hey, you folks in there?
Oh.
You hear Bayer's voice from the other end of the door.
Oh, okay. Hey. Oh, yeah, sorry. 1 second.
Bojangles continues to bark.
I'm going to put that shotgun away.
We'll be right there. 1 second. And I'll give it 3 seconds and then I'll go answer the door.
You open the door. You see Bear, who sort of takes up most of the door frame. Hey, you folks okay?
Yeah, why wouldn't we be? It's great. I'm great.
I just figured I'd ask.
Why? Is everything okay?
He steps to the side and you see Lynn standing next to him.
Oh.
It seems that you paid my friend Lynn a visit, and she said that 4 folks paid her a visit, and I thought I'd ask in a real nice way what the fuck's going on.
Oh, yeah, that.
He steps inside.
I feel like, oh, good. I was going to let you in anyway. I mean, I was going to let you. I was moving out of the way. I feel like this is all just a big misunderstanding. Just real big.
You see Bojangles, obviously greet his owner, and he sort of comes to heel near him, near the door. Lynn does not completely enter. She sort of hangs on to the screen door and stands there for a minute.
Yeah, that's understandable. My eyes are going from Winters to Brett to Hart to Winters to Brett to Hart, just in a circle around the room.
He gestures to Lynn. It's all right. Come on in. Nobody's going to hurt you. She sticks to the interior wall like wallpaper and slides in. He shuts the door. Bojangles just walks off sort of just to the front of the room and then eventually pads around and lays down. So Linny here says that you stopped by her place and maybe asked some tough questions and things got a little excitable. He smiles.
Well, things definitely got weird, that's for sure.
Okay.
I'm going to stand up. I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry. Elliot Winter, I don't think we met, but I'll hold my hand out. I sort of heard some of what happened. It seemed it got heated. I apologize for that ruckus. Yeah, it sounds like we need to have a conversation, but I at least want to introduce myself and hold my hand out to shake.
She nods at you and sort of just keeps her distance. You hear Bear sort of clear his throat, and he seems to look around. So listen, I'm not real good at this thing. I'm not a mean or an angry person, but I feel like I've been lied to, and I feel like one of my family has been wronged, and I want to know why.
Dr. Erin Weber has that look on her face like she's about to throw up a lot of words. Just vomit there. It's going to be projectiling word vomit. You see it come over her face. Her eyes are real big and she's getting real sweaty. So,
Weber, before you do this, and I'm not going to say don't, but before you do this, Bear, you ain't been nothing but kind. Can I just ask one question before this we have this conversation? The three boys that is missing, are they family to you? Or are we talking about Lynn? Because I think what we're going to talk and say might be a little distressing if those three are also family. And I just want to get that understood before we say what we was going to say.
Oh, it's okay. I think when you're here, when you're part of the reservation, sort of everybody is your family in that way. We're not direct blood related like that, sort of as you folk might think. We're not cousins or anything, maybe second or third, depending upon who you ask. But you're not the only group here who's got something to say. Lynn does too. But I'm hearing it from you all first, because I got to make a decision whether or not to let you stay under this roof.
Well, Bear, if I can take your leave for a second, I got to run to our car. You can wash me, or you can even go. I got to go grab a box from the trunk, and I think these other folks have some words to share. That sounds way more threatening, but it ain't. It's just the thing that I need to show you is in the trunk. And I'm going to head towards the car and grab the package if he doesn't have any real concerns about that.
Yeah, he doesn't get in your way. Sort of tellingly, Lynn doesn't move to get away from you either. She just watches you as you go, but you're able to get outside and to the trunk.
So we were sent here to investigate. We all investigate things that happen, and we were sent here because a box showed up at the post office, and the U.S. Postal Service takes things very, very seriously. So a box showed up at the U.S. Postal Service, and we opened it up, and we're like, that's not cool. And so he's going to get the box and he'll show you what's in the box. But so it was from Iron Shirt, which we know that now you know Iron Shirt, and it went to San Francisco, and it went to this newspaper there, but it didn't make it there because it got held up at the post office. And so they were like, hey, you four, you've done things like this before, so we need you to go look into this package. So we're trying to find Iron Shirt, and we're trying to find this Chris guy who was on a mailing list because we broke into the newspaper and we found his name, and we're like, Montana, they're in Montana. And so like, we're going to Montana too, so that's going to be great. And so, but we're not telling anyone that that's why we're really here, because we're kind of like undercover. So that's why we made up the story with the he's got my thing, and I need my earrings or bracelet or whatever it was back. And then I was like, oh no, she didn't. And then there was a gun and a phone and a license plate number. And so then that happened, but really, we don't want it to hurt anyone. Really, we don't. We just want to figure out like where your three friends are, and also what's going on at that biocarb place.
And as you can tell, Bear, we're not very good at our job.
We get things done though, like eventually in our own way.
Okay, that's quite a tale.
Yes, and once you see what's in the box, I'm sure that you will understand why we're so concerned.
Just like that movie 7, I saw that movie. I was fucked up.
It's kind of like that.
It's worse than that. And I'm going to pull out the little mailing thing that we got, and I'll give it to Bear and let him look at it, and give it to Lynn if she wants to look at it. Iron Shirt was the one who sent the package, which is why we're trying to find him.
But we're confused because he sent the package after the last time he was seen, so we think maybe him and his friends just disappeared on their own free will and not that they were disappeared. We hope they weren't disappeared.
You come back in, Elliot.
While I was out there, I unfortunately would have also liked to have retrieved my 226, put it in the back of my pants, completely uncharacteristic and unsafe, but just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. You grab the pistol. That's not hard.
Bear, you can see I've got a box in my hands. I got a box. It's not a shotgun. And then I'm going to walk in.
You walk in. Bear seems nice and calm. He sort of seems to be looking at Dr. Weber with a sort of tilted eyebrow.
Was there a coffee table? Like, we were sitting on the couch, right?
Yeah,
Is there
there's
like a
table.
coffee table?
Nice mid-century modern piece.
Why don't you put it down here, Elliot?
I'm going to do so.
The box shakes.
There's no intro to this, but we have found that it doesn't... You know what? Weber, you need to do something about Bojangles before I open this box.
Okay, I cover his eyes.
No, you need more. That dog is 300 pounds.
Okay, just go outside for a minute, Bojangles. Go right outside.
The dog doesn't move. It stares up at the box. You hear Bear's voice get loud for a minute. He says, "Bo, go on. Get up." And before he can even finish the entire sentence, the dog gets up and moves towards the back door, which of course is closed, so he needs someone to open it.
Yeah, go open the door.
Yeah, he runs outside.
Good boy, Bojangles.
So it's a pretty stunning story. You all feds, or... I mean, I asked you that earlier, but I gotta ask again.
I'm a chemist, defamed chemist, I would say. Really, I don't even have a job really right now because of this job that doesn't pay me anything.
Okay. What about you? He points at you, Hawking.
Yes.
Okay. And you? He points at you, Hart.
Yeah.
He looks at you, Winters.
I open the box.
He looks at it. He passes his sand roll. He steps back. Oh, what the?
I pet it.
It jostles and he reacts to it. Lynn gets somewhat interested and he puts up an enormous right hand as like a paw to push her back. No. You shut that. That's gross. It is like 7.
I shut it. Someone out there at that place did that, and that's what we're here to try and figure out.
And Iron Shirt was the one who sent it.
Lynn grabs the piece of paper from Bear. That ain't Tommy's writing. Guy can barely spell his own name.
Is it someone handwriting that you recognize? Like offhand?
I'm just a janitor. I'm not a handwriting expert.
Dr. Aaron Weber gasps.
You're a janitor where?
Where do you think? The place where you stole the uniforms from. You know, the one with my ID and everything else? I can't go to fucking work without a uniform and identification.
Guys, what if Crisp used Iron Shirt's name? So we're back to the beginning. We're back to Crisp sent it under Iron Shirt's name, so when it got picked up, they wouldn't know it's Crisp. And that doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't matter. It fixes the timeline because Iron Shirt couldn't have sent this after the last time he was seen. But he could have sent it if he wasn't him, and it was actually Crisp, and Crisp has better handwriting, and so Crisp was just using Iron Shirt as a cover so no one would come back to him.
That does mean that Crisp has met Iron Shirt under some circumstances. Hopefully not nefarious.
Bear moves into the kitchen. You want something to drink?
Yes, please.
He brings back from one of the upper cabinets in the kitchen a handle of Jack Daniels and sets it on the table. He sits down in one of the chairs, which certainly does not suit his rather large frame. Sort of groans under the pressure. Okay, so you're a handful of spooks sent up here from the government to figure out what's going on tribal land. That won't play real well, but I'm a man who likes the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really care, like, what's happening with you. Like, our business isn't to mess around with here. It's the guys at that Amalgamated, which it sounds like most people in town work there, but not a great place.
A lot of people work there. Yep. And Amalgamated has been supporting the town financially for a very long time. I told your buddy here that, but he opens the bottle up and sort of begins to pour red Solo cups full of straight whiskey. But like I said, the whole story. And Lynn's got part of this story. Tell him. She hasn't really stepped forward. She's still a very slight woman. She has a very shaky voice. It's clear that she is still disturbed by what happened earlier today. I helped him. I helped them get in. See, they were hoping to rob the place. Thomas, Jacob, Charles hadn't had any luck. Local spots and sheriff in town has been after them for everything under the sun. And I'm not here to make any excuses for those three. They made their own path in life. They had to swing with whatever consequences were coming to them. They planned to burglarize the place on a holiday weekend, so they picked July 4th. They sort of stuck it to the government, stick it to the United States, and pull off whatever they could from the place so that way they could, I don't know, live high in the hog, be pirates, who knows. Most of the non-native personnel would be on leave for the holiday. They'd run real low on staff at the plant. We grabbed a couple of uniforms and ID cards for them. I managed to even filch a parking sticker for Charles's truck. They left off into the night, and I thought I'd see them next morning. I didn't. Like I said to you in the trailer, I don't know where they are. I haven't seen them. It's been over a month now. I figured the next morning ABC Security had gotten them, right? I figured they got picked up on a camera. I figured somebody, said something, arrested them. I was worried that when I showed up to work that next night, they were going to come question me. I've never been scared in my life like that. But I had to show up to work because if I didn't show up to work, I'd look like an accomplice. And so I went to work. The plant was locked down. Most of the workers had been sent home. Alarms were going off. There's a tanker truck, a couple of them gathered around the west side of the facility. They were spraying water or something on the buildings. I saw these guys in spacesuits outside the plant. They were on radios talking back and forth. I couldn't make out what they were saying. The only people working were security and staffers and other people detailed to repair and containment operations. When the sergeant didn't call me when Thomas, he never called, so I figured he didn't get arrested. The police didn't have him. Nobody had been turned in. There was no word of a break-in. Then we got rumors came out a couple days that there was some sort of chemical spill in there. We weren't allowed to go back to work until the 6th. By the 7th, I had enough courage to just ask some people if they'd seen him. But I only confided in a couple people at work because I didn't want them thinking that I didn't know where they was. I was working really hard not to get pulled into this. And then I thought maybe the guards had killed him. Maybe Charles, Tommy especially, who was known to run with a gun, maybe they shot him. Maybe they killed him. I don't know. I couldn't go to the authorities. I just couldn't. She takes the red Solo cup and drinks it all in one go, and then grabs the bottle and pours more.
Because you would have gotten in trouble for something that you don't have any backup for. If Tommy and the boys have disappeared and you confess that you helped them break in, that wouldn't look good for you. So it makes sense why you wouldn't have gone to the police.
Yeah. After the 6th, a bunch of employees got transferred out. A facility in Maryland. They shut down and cut down on a bunch of numbers after the 6th. For me, though, it feels like the after-hours crew is the one that sort of got chopped out. Anybody that was working on the 4th was reassigned. They're not there anymore. Especially in the security detail and the Sapphire Protection Unit. You hear Bear cut in and say, "Did Pete stay around?" You see Lynn react to this pretty directly. She sort of snaps a look at him and says, "They transferred him. South Korea. Ray Turner's in charge now." You hear Bear sort of groan and shake his head. That old skull.
Is that who's in charge of security or who's currently running the whole plant up there?
Turner's running the whole thing now. I still got my job, so it's all the same to you. I could use my uniform and ID. I still have to go to work tonight.
Well, if I can speak up from the back, I'm going to look at Winters and Hart, make sure I got some eye contact of approval.
Hey, Bear, we got to get in that building. And if we do, and we find your people, we'd like to get them out of there. We would like your assistance on getting into the building.
Whew.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that place is usually locked up tighter than a drum. I'm not sure what you would want me to do. You got any magic charm, you're going to want to talk to Lynn. She's already an employee.
Okay. I mean, it's better than asking to get loaded in a 55-gallon drum and rolled in with the rest of your supplies. Lynn, I know you didn't look in the box, but you can ask Bear if it's worth it. But we need to get in there, or this whole town could be at risk.
Well, listen, I'm after it for my own reasons. You understand?
What are those?
I want to know what the hell happened to my boyfriend.
Okay.
I've been trying to get assigned to Turner's cleaning crew. That way I can get in his office. Look around.
Sounds like some of our goals align. What do you guys think? Asking the rest of my crew.
I feel like we're asking a very big favor after we were very not great to her. And I'll look at her with, like a softened expression. I am sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything now, but I am sorry.
Oh, hey, Lynn, do you know anything about this Arnold Crisp guy that we think may have sent the package? Or whose name we saw, or who I called the other day? He works there.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the name.
Oh, but you haven't, met him? You don't, work in his area or anything?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm on the late night cleaning staff. I barely see anybody that wears a white coat and is a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Is there any way that you might have any idea how Crisp and Thomas might have crossed paths?
Well, Tommy hated the guts of most of the people that worked up there, especially the non-res folks, you understand. He saw them as people that he could exploit, people he could play tricks on. So, I mean, it's possible they crossed paths maybe at a bar here, or maybe they were, it's a small town. Y'all know that. So when they have to come into town, they got to go someplace. I mean, they don't deliver groceries right to your door.
Somehow this scientist that Tommy hated his guts, presumably, got your boyfriend's full name and address and got it into his head to send this package using his identification. There's a connection there that we need to understand. And maybe we just need to, I look at Brett, maybe we just need to exploit the fact that if this feller's scared, nothing's better than a little bit more scared to put him in the mood to help.
So it is possible, Bear says, maybe Chris just grabbed Tommy's name from Local paper? I mean, when you're a guy like it's got to wrap a mile long like he does, you get poked at all the time. Everything is your fault.
Sure. And I should still have the picture in my luggage, right? That was the picture that I got off the CCTV.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get up off the couch. One sec. And I'm gonna go into my room and get the picture. So this is from the time that the package was mailed. And I know Lynn still has the slip and everything.
Yeah, it's on the table.
Yeah. So I'll put the picture down. I'm giving her a wide berth because I don't want to make her more uncomfortable after the incident. Whoever has their back turned to the camera is the one who brought the package in. But these two clearly know each other. And I haven't had the opportunity yet to find out who this person is. I'm going to point to the clerk who's behind the counter. So whoever this is on good terms with whoever sent the package. That was something I was going to do tomorrow.
Bear takes a look at the photo. He looks at it again. See him adjust it a second. I think I know that guy. He's a local. I mean, he probably lives 3 or 4 blocks down.
Do you know him by name?
Yeah, Robert.
And I take it that he and your boyfriend, Miss Lynn, were not necessarily on good terms, or they didn't run in the same circles?
I mean, the list of people that Tommy pissed off is longer than I can count.
No, not pissed off. They would know each other well, like they're on good terms, not on bad terms.
I mean, outside of the folks he runs with and me, not many. Even Bear doesn't like him. Yeah, but I ain't trying to see the guy dead. I mean, you picked a shit for a boyfriend, but that's your problem, not mine. Of course, now it is my problem because it's in my house. He takes a big drink of his solo cup. Well, you're spooks, right? Maybe you got some listening devices or something like that. Tap a phone line, whatever.
Oh, I'm not. I'm a chemist. And I think it would take me a while to get a job there.
I have kit, but I don't have that kind of kit on me.
Okay.
No, that's not really part of the standard thing that we do.
He looks a little surprised. Really? I mean, can I ask what you're after the postal worker for?
Well, whoever this is that they're on good terms with, this is the person who sent that package.
Wait, this picture though, this is them dropping the package off?
Yeah.
Why the fuck does the postal carrier give 2 shits about what's in the package? They're just there to take it. I don't understand that.
Robert accepting the package is less the part that the contents outside of what you've seen is not the part I'm concerned about. It's the person he's talking to. So whoever it was that dropped off that package, that's the person I need to talk to find out who they are, where they got the package, and why they sent it to the person they sent it to.
But who says Robert's going to know any of that? He could have just taken the package and said, here's how much it costs to ship it. Thanks, bye.
Well, so, okay, yes. Robert just took the package, but have you ever worked like retail or something? You get your regulars, you get customers that come in all the time, you know people. So if he can confirm that it's crisp or it doesn't sound like it's Iron Shirt or whoever sent the package, then like that would be helpful for us, because then we would have a definite identification on it. Like, not like, I don't think Robert's mixed up in this at all, but I mean, I've worked retail before. I've worked, desk jobs. You see the same people every day. You come in, you learn their names, you say hi, how are the kids, all that stuff. And so I think we are not really interested in him, but we are interested in maybe information that he has. He doesn't care about it, but it's part of your day and you just do it to pass the time, figure out these people's lives.
Okay, so if you're going to go and you're going to get involved in Thomas's life by bringing their merry band of spooks around and asking a bunch of questions, how are you going to do this and not fuck his life up?
That's a good question. That's a valid question. Our hope is that he is just hiding out somewhere. Our concern is that he's not just hiding out somewhere. and I don't want to do more damage. And I think at this point we can maybe mostly like leave his name out for a little bit, unless because directions are pointed away from him. But I think we really got to get an eye or ear on this Crisp guy now, and not Iron Shirt, not Thomas.
Well, Lynn says, for my part, I'm going to work to get on Turner's team to get an idea of what happened in that place. There's got to be a memo or something that talks about what happened that night. Because 3 people went into that building. Thomas, Jacob, Charles, they went into that building and they never came out. And I need to know why.
I'm going to walk over with the uniforms and the ID. I'm going to hand them to her. Lynn, just be careful. I mean, you're talking about all these folks that got transferred to other places. South Korea? Just be careful. Because them 3 boys may not be the only ones that went missing. They just might be the ones that we are focused on right now. This is a big deal. And bigger than government, bigger than law. This is something a company like ABC that's doing this work will kill for.
She takes him back very carefully from you and doesn't drop her eyes anymore. She looks very confident in this moment. I wonder, Agent Winters, will you tell me what your persuade is?
I think that's pretty good. My persuade is 70.
Okay, so there's no roll really necessary for this. But Lynn takes them back from you and she says, I'm going to work tonight. Is there anything you want me to look for? I mean, if you've got radio bugs or whatever, I mean, I'm not dumb. I can put in places people won't see. Like Bear said, this whole corporation has been around for a long time, and they're really big in the community because of the money, the revenue. But that doesn't mean that they're good for the land or good for the people. And I don't see a bunch of soldiers coming up here to knock on their door. So maybe we can do it different.
I am sorry to say that I meant it when I said we didn't have anything like that. We don't have anything to tap into things.
I got a stupid idea. If somebody wants to give up their cell phone, you could take that phone into that place, call the person in our group, and just leave that line open. That cell phone kind of acts like a bug. Be an open line.
Sure. You got an extra cell phone?
Okay. Anybody here have a mistress?
Wait, they didn't give us any fucking burners this time. I have kids, so I can't. Because my kid, so.
Man, by that standard, I'm the only one who can give up my cell phone.
It's 2001. Can we buy a burner at a gas station?
I would like to. Just remind my players. That way they don't feel like maybe they've forgotten something. You did receive a card when you were in San Francisco. You received a business card by the person who handed you this mess. So you do have a number for Agent Drake, should you have to contact him.
Are we going to use the bureaucracy rules to get equipment?
Lynn, when's your shift start?
She says midnight to 9.
I think we're going to make a call, see if we can get some equipment more appropriate to this kind of endeavor. We sort of came out here with baseball bats. It sounds like we might need a little bit more sophistication based on where this has gone. And if you are up for it, Lynn, we're going to take you up on that. And I'm going to be very straightforward and honest with you on this. This puts you in danger if anyone finds out and hears about this. But we will definitely take you up on that because this is important.
Okay. Tonight I'll just go there and I'll look around during my shift, see if I can find anything. Maybe I'll look for a good spot to put whatever you eventually give me. I mean, it doesn't sound like we're going to solve this whole thing tonight, so.
Much as we would love to. Do me a favor while you're looking around. Also, take a good peek or a good eye on the places that either no one is allowed or no one should go to, or maybe even better, If you got some maps of the facility or something like that, the places that don't rightfully exist.
I mean, I could bring you maps to the facility. That wouldn't be too hard to get. There are floor maps and parts of the HR offices that I clean. I could probably make a photocopy of some.
That'd be outstanding. I do appreciate all this.
She looks over at Bear and he nods, and then she collects her stuff and, all right, you all know where to find me. She steps out the front door. Bear walks over and opens the back door so Bojangles can come back in. The dog immediately beelines for the cardboard box on the table.
I set the cardboard box way up in a tall cabinet.
You feel it shake and shimmy as you move it up. Bo rejoins Dr. Weber on the couch with a healthy thump. Bear says, I'm going to let you all stay until you get this figured out. But maybe take it a little easier on the folks around here.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that, I think.
Thanks. He closes up the whiskey after pouring a little bit more for everyone and then leaves. He didn't arrive by car. He walked. So he walks on down the road.
I think we owe both that young lady and that gentleman a fruit basket once we are out of this place.
So I think on that note, we'll call this episode to a close. So our agents have figured out a little bit more about how they might need to approach the ABC facility. And then in the next episode, we'll get to see how they deliver on that promise. Thank you so very much, and good night.